All right, hello, I'm Toby, and this is Casey.
Hi.
Hello.
We are with the Unseen Americans, and we run a podcast for American Enlightenment, and we have come down here and talked to you before. And what's your name?
Elisea.
And how long have you worked here at the food bank?
Well, I am a client advocate, and I have been here for about 2.5 years. But I actually started volunteering at the food bank about in 2013, and I went off, did things in my life, and decided that they weren't fulfilling, and it just wasn't my calling. So I decided to come back here, give it a go, and they hired me, and been here for ever since.
Did you grow up around here?
I kind of. So I grew up in Washington. I was born on Fort Lewis,
Okay.
at the old Madigan, which, if anybody knows about that, it is old and creepy and gross. But then I kind of jumped around. My father was an addict, so we kind of moved around a lot because of that. And lived in Lacey, Olympia, all the way down to Oregon once, Tacoma area. So Washington native for sure. Been here.
Has this always been something you've been interested in getting into?
Definitely. I've always had, a very empathetic heart, and people mean a lot to me, and I just see what's going on around me, and I wanted to be part of a solution rather than continuing to contribute to the problem.
So, since we've been on this little journey ourselves, we've definitely saw another side to all this, and it's been very educational for us as well, because it's pretty. These people are pretty amazing, and the more you talk to them, I remember we came in, we brought up a couple names to you guys, and you guys knew immediately who Sean and George were, and we thought it was crazy how small of a world this probably is, because you
really
probably
is.
see them all the time.
Oh yeah.
And so, I'm sure, have you gotten to know
Very much so.
all these people pretty
Oh
well?
yeah, so the outfits that I wear are very recognizable, so I think it makes me a lot more approachable too, so people, they see me and they're like, oh yeah, so they come up and get to know us, and we develop relationships with the people out here. We have the mission right here, so we always are trying to make sure that we're engaging with the community around us, to make them feel heard and seen and welcome. Because a lot of the times people in these vulnerable states get passed over, and that's the last thing we want, especially when they're visiting our food pantry.
So I'm kind of, I guess, naive when it comes to the whole food bank thing. So how exactly does this operate? Do they just kind of show up when they feel like it? And how does that work?
So we try and make it a very barrier-free zone. We don't ask you too many questions. We don't require income. We don't require proof of address like a lot of food pantries still do. We just want to make sure that anyone who comes up to our door is welcome in and knows that food is not a right, or not a privilege. You have a right to get food. And we don't care what your background is, what you've done, where you're at now. We're meeting you right here. And we make it so it's very dignified too. So instead of just handing you a box of food like they used to do when I was younger, they were like, here's some rice and beans, go feed your family. That doesn't work. Not everybody has the ability to cook that type of stuff or knows how. So we set it up like a grocery store, and you get a little shopping cart, and you'll get to go literally just walk around like you would at a grocery store. There's a produce display of your deli, dairy, meat, canned goods, all that stuff, and you get to pick the things that you want, that you're going to eat. And that also helps eliminate waste too, because back in the day when they handed that, some people aren't going to use that, so then it just either goes in the trash or it expires or whatever. So we try and take away that element of it too, so you have that freedom of choice.
And where does the food come from? Is it donated?
So there are many different places that we get our food. We get some of it that is federally funded, so we purchase it. So we get grants, and we can purchase big pallets full of a lot of our canned goods. We purchase meat. We purchase some produce. We also have 3 food bank gardens. So we encourage people, come help out, come see what we do, grow your own food. and you'll be happy to know that that food is going out to someone who's in need and don't have to pay for it, and it's fresh and it's good, it's healthy. So we have the gardens. We do grocery rescue. So grocery rescue is when stores are about to get rid of their food, we stop them in their tracks and we say, hey, we know somebody who could use that. So we have stores that are willing to give us their anything that they're not going to give out. And we also get more than food. We get diapers, menstrual products, toiletries, body wash, shampoo, all that kind of stuff. So you're getting more than just food also when you come to our food pantry.
We just interviewed a nice gentleman a little bit ago, and he was saying that out of all the places that he's been, Olympia is by far the best place to be homeless, he said. Because he said, honestly, he said, it's so loving here and they take care of you more here, he said, than anywhere he's ever been before.
Well,
he said,
I love that.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool that he looked at this place as such a bright place.
And I think even just around here, right here in this building, is kind of like a beacon of light for a lot of people. Because it's tough out here. You know, I've dealt with homelessness. I've dealt with that my whole entire life. I've dealt with addiction and, you know, trauma and abuse. And even though we can't solve every problem, when you come here, we're here to help you. We're not here to judge you. We're not here to talk about your past unless you want to. I'll sit here and listen. We just only want to take care of you. We want to feed you. And as my job as a client advocate, I'm here to offer other resources too, or navigate you in the direction that you need to go to be able to find those resources that you need.
Is it volunteer based here?
Absolutely. We could not function without volunteers, and I encourage anyone at any level in their life to do it. It's a humbling experience. You know, we have people who live out here on the streets that, you know, utilize the food pantry, and they're like, I just want to give back because you've done so much for me. So they come in and volunteer. We have people who are very successful or retired and they've done all their things, and it's really like a family here. It's a community of people who just want to love and spread that love and spread, you know, just kindness and compassion and take a break from the hustle and bustle of city and society and whatever. You just come here and be you. Like, I've never had a job where I can just come and dress like a cow, you know? So it's really nice and liberating to be able to be a part of something so beautiful.
Well, it was great talking to you.
Yes, of course, anytime.
We see everything you do. We appreciate it for sure. That's why we want to highlight it, because we know this stuff is just, and we know you don't do it for the popularity. We know that, but at the end of the day,
and not the money either.
Exactly, but people need to.
People need to see these beautiful faces.
They're out here helping these
hear these beautiful words. You're amazing for everything you do.
And thank you for shedding a light on what we do and what's going on in our community, and, you know, making some of the unheard voices heard. So I really appreciate you guys.
No problem. We like to ask everybody at the end, do you have any wise words?
Wise words.
I know it's a tough one.
I mean, just be kind to each other, be patient. We're dealing with something globally as people, as humans. So, you know, think a little bit more before you judge someone or say something that might be kind of hurtful. You know, you want to just put yourself in that person's position.
You don't know what people are going through.
You don't know what anyone's going through, and it's not about you always.
Sure.
And don't take it personally.
All right. Thank you.
Well,
great job.
Thank you guys.
Great job.
Thank
you.
you.
Cool. You're amazing.
Great job.
Thank
You
you.
did
Anytime
fantastic.
you want me to sit here and talk.
Hey there, podcast lovers. Dive into the world of ideas with the American Enlightenment podcast. Follow us for mind-expanding episodes that keep you curious and inspired. Visit our website now and join the conversation.